All right, Coach, from one of the loudest venues in the NFL, there's a look at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Indianapolis Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
In your face.
Say. Put it down.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Watson. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. And now here's a timeout called by the Colts on the defensive side of the ball. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Tyrann Mathieu, normally known for the pass coverage, this time a sack.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Colts will go on offense here. 1st and 10. Here's carry number 1 for Jordan Howard. Oh, he's got a little daylight. The 40. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. It's a big-time run by Jordan Howard. 54 yards.
1st down, Indianapolis.
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Throwing, Brissett. And he's taken down, a Chiefs sack. Tack McKinley in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Well, let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now a first-quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
This is Howard on 2nd down. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
No gain on the play. Brings up third down.
Let's go now. Keep the Pittsburgh. Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Shift.
It's third and long for Brissett. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. As his guys are in for 6. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0.
7, Chiefs nothing.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Yeah, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
25-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Not today, you are. Not today.
Here's Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Markel Lee racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
You know, a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Third and long. It's Watson. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Nice play for Kansas City, picking up the first 18 yards that time. Well, first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from the Motor City, and the Bucs are out to an early lead. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run on first down with Marlon Mack. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. On 2nd down, here's a run with Mack. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, But the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
It's our time. It's our time, guys. It's our time.
Throwing on third down, Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one.
The Colts take over first down
Let's go.
at their own 20-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
He was brought down by Kamu Grugier-Hill.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 21-yard line.
2nd and 9 now from the 21.
55 to Mike. All day, baby, all day. Shoot. 1, 2, 3.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
7, Chiefs nothing.
Let's go. Yo. Anyone?
On 2nd down now. It's Howard. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Let go.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. They'll run for the pistol with Howard. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
44 to Mike. 44. Check. That's right, baby. They don't want it. 44.
Throwing on 2nd down. Brissett. He's got his man. That's Josh Gordon.
Brissett's pass complete to Josh Gordon. A gain of 10 brings up 3rd and inches.
The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. Brissett. And he's got Rodgers. And he'll take this forward for 2, maybe 3. But we do have a flag down, and they're already marching backward. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
I can't believe they even let you play. Check 26. Check 26. Shoot.
On 3rd down, Brissett. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. The Colts send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback.
Their own 20-yard line.
The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Nice play for Kansas City, picking up the first 18 yards that time.
First and 10 at the 38-yard line.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive.
Set the tone, defense. Let's go. Check 31. 24. Hey, we got him.
From the gun, here's Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Markel Lee, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long.
Slam. 24. 25.
Now Watson. He's got a man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
First down. First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for first and 10. Out of the gun, here's a give to Mack. Oh, he's got some breathing room. Taking it right down Broadway. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Marlon Mack, his 4th touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Elliott good on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line.
At their own 31-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit and try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
First down, Colts.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Here's Brissett. And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Jordan Howard with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Colts have taken the lead. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game.
Makes the score Colts 14, Chiefs 7.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. A run by Mack to start the drive. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Let's go, D. Let's go.
Now it's Watson, a bootleg. Rolling to his right. He completes this one to Mack. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. They rolled out of the pocket right, and I think he wanted a little something more out of that play, obviously. Instead, he hit a safety. Valve.
It looked like two well-coached teams there, even though there was no yardage gain, because the offensive guys, hey, they realized their quarterback was out of the pocket. All the receivers went to the right spots, tried to get in his sight line, tried to open themselves up. Just nowhere to go where they could gain yardage. How about the defensive guys, though? Did not lose leverage and kept their poise and made a really nice play.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as... And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs.
And the Colts first down.
A good run by Jordan Howard, and now another 1st and 10. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. A gain of 3, 2nd down. Now the Colts going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
At the 42-yard line.
44's mark. Check. Yeah, that's what I do. He's good there. He's checking crack. 44.
On 2nd and 7, Brissett. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 35.
One of the selling points of the corner route is usually the receiver is able to move away from the defender. But in this case, he didn't get that far away.
Here's a run on first down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard, 2nd and 11. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. On 2nd and 11 now. Brissett. And he finds Howard complete. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. And this one is right down the middle. And that will finish off this third quarter of play. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Second half ready to get underway. The Colts with a lead, and they will receive the football. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. Brissett now. Got it complete to Rodgers. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. To throw, Brissett. He's going to air one out. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
The Colts send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the second time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Watson now to throw. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Now on 2nd and 16. Watson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Anthony Walker, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? A shotgun snap for Watson. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Anthony Walker in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Now it's Martin. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Right there. 54.
Out of the gun, Brissett. Going to throw right side here, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one good for 26 and a first down. Quick update from Levi's Stadium. The Chargers have just scored, so they've taken the lead in that ball game. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 36. From the gun, here's Brissett. Able to get this to Gordon. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. 16 yards to pick up there. The Colts have a first down. On first down, they run with Howard. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On 2nd down and 4. Brissett, nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Brissett from the gun on 3rd. Letting one go deep for the end zone. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So they decline it as that will bring up fourth.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you've got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties, and they wisely did not take that one and made it fourth down.
So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front seven? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Let's go, baby. Watch twist. Hey, pick it up. Check nickel. Watch that.
Throwing again is Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Markel Lee in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? Watson now. From the gun, he'll throw. And the pressure gets to him again. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Logan Cook now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out of there. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Hey, pick your game up. Switch free.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Brissett, that'll be caught by Rodgers. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Brings up 3rd and inches.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. They're looking at 3rd and the nose of the football. From the shotgun, it's Brissett. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. Brissett now perfect since the 2nd half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, this is Howard. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
On 2nd and 9, Brissett. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down. Brissett now 13 of 15 passing. That's good for 87%. It's 1st and 10. Running from the gun with Howard. And give him about 3 as he gets it down to the 22-yard line.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Again, it's Howard. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. The Colts on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Trying the right side with Howard. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Chiefs take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Melvin Ingram dropping the hammer off the edge.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
After the sack on 1st down, Watson, and going deep for Hill. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill that time. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Looking to erase a 2-score deficit here in the 4th quarter. Going for some big plays.
Yeah, they certainly were. They just decided one shot, didn't they? Forget trying to move the ball downfield in small little increments. Let's go for the big one. But how about the defense playing situational football, looking at the scoreboard and realizing what can hurt us most? The deep shot. They played it well.
Back to throw, Watson. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. To throw is Watson, and it is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Colts are going to get the football in outstanding field position. On a delay, it's Howard. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. And they'll indeed take a knee.
It's a loss of a yard, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, get Henry. Check 55 to line. Oh, here we go. Oh.
And they will take a knee here.
The sack on the keeper. A loss of a yard. Brings up 4th down.
So this one winds up an Indianapolis victory, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the 2nd half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Colts, it's an important win for their playoff hopes as they move to 8-5, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, it's going to all but eliminate them from the playoff picture as they fall to 5-8, and they'll be off to Oakland next week for a date with the Raiders. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.